You are eternal beings, far more than a single perspective, a single lifetime, a single body. And when your human personality comes into genuine vibrational harmony with your source energy, the experience of being alive becomes extraordinary. That attunement happens naturally to some degree. You wouldn't be here if it weren't happening at all. But there's a difference between the baseline and the deliberate. The art of allowing is about consciously choosing how much of who you really are gets to flow through you in any given moment. Allowing, in its simplest form, is this: how much of who I actually am I letting be present right now through the thoughts I'm choosing? When you're irritable, defensive, or anxious, you're restricting that flow. That restriction is precisely what the discomfort is, nothing more and nothing less. When you're clear, confident, eager, generous, curious, and kind, source energy is moving through you freely. That's what those states feel like from the inside. If you want more of this kind of content, subscribing keeps it coming. Feeling powerful, adventurous, compassionate, willing to extend the benefit of the doubt. These are the signatures of open flow. Feeling edgy, guilty, fearful, defensive, or resentful. These are the signatures of restriction. The habit most people carry is attributing how they feel to what's happening around them. Someone says something cutting, and the feeling of hurt gets assigned to that person. A circumstance goes sideways, and the discomfort gets pinned to the circumstance. The shift worth making is to pause and recognize the feeling has one source, and it's internal. You feel bad when you're pinching off who you are. The outer event may have triggered the thought that caused the restriction, but the restriction itself is yours to work with. Nobody else can do that work for you. Not because people don't matter, but because the lever simply isn't on their end. There's a game worth playing. It goes like this. From this point forward, you take complete responsibility for everything that happens in your experience, not as a form of self-blame, but as a declaration of your own power. You stop assigning your emotional state to your partner, your parents, your coworkers, your circumstances. This sounds confronting at first, especially when someone else's behavior is genuinely difficult. But consider what it means to hold others responsible for how you feel. Even when someone is willing to change their behavior, even when they succeed for months or years, you remain dependent on something outside yourself. The moment they slip or a new person arrives who triggers similar patterns, you're back where you started. The only person who has ever been able to do anything about your experience is you. That's always been true. Recognizing it fully is the beginning of real freedom. The ask here is straightforward. Choose any thought, word, or action that allows who you are to flow back in this moment. That's the whole practice. When you're frustrated with someone who won't change, the path forward isn't waiting for them to change. You can begin looking for something, anything, in that relationship or in your environment that genuinely feels good to focus on. A dog, a memory, the sky. It doesn't have to be related to the problem. As you give your attention to something that allows you to feel better, you've done something real about the relationship that was troubling you, more real than any argument, negotiation, or ultimatum. When feeling good becomes your actual priority, every relationship in your life begins to shift towards something that pleases you. This can feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you've long believed that other people carry responsibility for your emotional state. Letting go of that, allowing others to be however they are while you independently choose your way back to feeling good, takes some adjustment. But you don't need them to figure this out first. Once you figure it out, the quality of your life changes immediately. In any relationship that's been developing for a while, you tend to find what you've been looking for. When you've trained your attention on the parts of someone that bother you, those parts become increasingly active in your vibration, and those are the parts that keep showing up. What people most consistently show you is the aspect of themselves that's most active in your vibration. That's not a metaphor. Watch a child behave completely differently with two different adults, fully cooperative with one, impossible with another. Different people are activating different facets of that child. The same dynamic is operating in every relationship you have. This is why managing other people's behavior from the outside rarely works for long. They're operating without access to your internal guidance system. They're guessing based on agreements, past arguments, or stated preferences, all of which are imprecise and constantly shifting. The arrangement is inherently unstable. A new relationship feels easier partly because nothing negative has been activated yet. You haven't heard about each other's histories, failures, or patterns. You're meeting from a fresh place. But if you move from relationship to relationship without understanding what's actually happening, the same patterns reassert themselves, because you carry your habits of vibration with you. A significant early experience, something bold enough to hold your attention for a long time, or something that arrived suddenly and dramatically, can set a vibrational pattern in motion. From that point, you talk about it, think about it, dream about it, write about it. The pattern stays active. And because this is a universe of inclusion rather than exclusion, what's active in your vibration keeps showing up in your experience. Someone who developed patterns of vulnerability or defensiveness early in life will find that people around them tend to treat them in ways that confirm those patterns, until those patterns are examined and shifted. The psychotherapy insight that this started in second grade is accurate, and it's also incomplete. Many things started in second grade and third grade and yesterday. What matters now is that you understand what vibration is and what your emotions are actually telling you. Your emotions are a guidance system. They tell you in real time how much of who you really are you're allowing to flow. Eagerness, clarity, a sense of vitality and power. These mean the flow is open. Anything less than that is a signal, not a verdict. It's information about where you are, not a statement about where you have to stay. When you understand this clearly, guiding yourself becomes a natural process. You look for thoughts, words, and actions that feel good while you're choosing them. Feeling good is the indicator that source energy is moving through you. From that place, the people around you literally begin to show you different aspects of themselves, ones that match where you are. The work is internal, the results are external, and the direction is always the same, back toward who you really are. Subscribing means you won't miss what comes next. This is a conversation worth staying in.